We're back with another episode, or another hour rather, of the Long Voyage. Yeah, you've just come back to Lanwan, which seems to be in reasonable condition. Again, there are a few destroyed houses, and there are some deaths. But from the looks of it, the bandits are, well, they've taken far worse casualties than you guys.
Almost as if they were abandoned mid-fight by their magical ally?
Possibly. Something has, at least, they've come up against a superior force and been blasted. But the point, of course, is they must have believed that they could win. Nobody attacks in a situation like theirs where they're already, having the upper hand. Why would they attack if they didn't think they could win?
Exactly.
What gave them that impression?
That is the thing.
I think they didn't actually count the crew of Southlanders who might have been here to help.
They
weren't, were they?
No,
they was only.
Yeah, the rest of the crew had made it back. I mean, you guys, as I said, you were on the road in the cart, which did not move nearly as swiftly as the ship did. So they've made it back.
Okay, so they clearly expected to win, which to me suggests either they were expecting their wonderful smoke demon leader to be able to do magical things for them, or there's another threat that they brought along that we haven't yet accounted for.
I hope it's the first one.
Well, yeah, so do I, but it's never that simple.
I mean, if the smoke demon is the first easy attack, then I don't want to see what else they have up their sleeves.
Don't know. But either way, yes, so who knows? I'm sure we can debate what to do about it when we get back in.
Oh, we are back in.
Oh, we are back in. Sorry, I didn't realise we'd started.
So, anyway, as you guys stand there, you hear a voice of someone you haven't actually met before. And if you turn to look, I don't know if you do.
What?
Okay,
Right.
then you see this fellow approaching from behind you, actually, down the road. He's riding a really nice horse, a really good horse, from the looks of it. And he rides up closer and then looks in astonishment at all of you, and then towards Lord Bao, and says, "I believe I just saw Yoshiko running away, and I can see that there's been a fight. What happened? And who are these strange people?"
The vessel looking after the fox.
The
Gilfil. Oh yeah.
no, go on, please.
Yeah. No, Gilfil would be just eyeing looking up the arriving person, like up and down, getting the read on the person.
I think Thordy will do an appropriate polite gesture, but otherwise wait to be introduced.
Yes.
And
Sounds
Lord Bao wipes the blood off his face with his sleeve and puts his sword back in the scabbard where it belongs. And then he looks at the new arrival and says, "These people have come from very far away across the ocean in the strangest little ship. Small ship, but large people. They are our friends and allies, and have helped us win a great victory today. And you, my friend, have strange timing to arrive just as the fighting ends. And the man on the horse smiles, shrugs lightly, and says, I was not aware a fight was ongoing, or I would have been here sooner, but it looks like it's been well in hand. And Lord Bao just sighs and slumps his shoulders a little and says, well, we did have losses, and there were civilians who died. And that is regrettable. I am still not sure if this is all they're going to throw at us. Chanku was here, but only briefly, and then he left his men to fight. I think he took victory for granted. We were hard pressed at first, but then the ship with most of these good people came back. They had been up the coast, and they joined the fighting, and that turned the tide in our favor.
So it was the rest of the crew being.
Are you talking about the smoke man?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he came after us.
And you're still here?
We
My
had
Breeze
friends,
helped us.
you have been incredibly fortunate.
some help.
A breeze came to help us.
Yes, a breeze that shot arrows. Arrows that made the smoke man vulnerable.
How odd. Lord Bao looks very confused.
I think it was not your spirit.
No, she was here all along. It must have been some other kami. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you, Ren? He says, and looks up to the man on the horse, and the man on the horse looks incredibly innocent, and, really, really innocent. It's like, who? Me? Would I? And, he dismounts and says, No, I assure you, I know absolutely nothing of any arrows that make any smoked person vulnerable. As far as
Is he suspiciously tall?
He's got fair height to him, yes.
I mean,
He's not impossibly...
Suspiciously so.
No, he's not
Okay.
like huge or anything. No.
Then Ilva buys it.
Slightly, well, not slightly, but he's taller than the average of these people, definitely. It's got a very, regal sort of bearing. So he looks at all of you and says, "Well, if you are responsible for saving Lanwan, then I am personally grateful to you. This is a good place and deserves to be safe. I have brought important news, my lord," he says, and looks at Lord Bao, "and serious news. Would you prefer if we talked in private?" And Lord Bao shakes his head and says, "No, anything you say can be said in front of these people. I trust them with my life, and with the life of anybody in this town, in this city." And this man Ren nods slightly and says, "Well, very well. Then it is my distinct, I suppose, pleasure is the word, to inform you that a suitable husband has been found for your daughter." And Lord Bao looks at first slightly confused, then slightly horrified, and then slightly happy. all within the space of about 2 breaths. So it's very swift. His facial expression changes from one thing to the next very, very swiftly. And he says, and Ren just smiles, or slightly, he's patient. Looks at Lord Bao for a moment and lets him recover, and then he looks back to the rest of you and says, "So, you've come from far away on a small ship. Where might that be?"
I think the ship is in the harbor.
No, I
I mean-
meant, where are you from? More precisely. Far away can be a lot of places.
The Southlands.
Oh. Well, I have heard a few stories from, well, mostly from men who have sailed far away as merchants, who have told stories that they have met southern giants in harbours in faraway lands, but to my knowledge, none of my people have ever set foot in your lands, and you must surely be the first here.
I like the sound of that.
That is very fascinating. I had heard that you were physically impressive, but to be honest, I thought that at least quite a bit of it was the exaggeration of drunk sailors. I can see that they, if anything, did not quite do you justice.
Thordy looks, we are amazing.
Yeah, and that is clearly what he means. Is he's impressed by you.
Ilva's rolling her eyes at Frodi's we're amazing look.
Thordy pretends he doesn't notice.
Ilva knows he's just pretending.
In any case, he says, I should attend to Lord Bao and his family. After all, it is an important day, if not necessarily the most joyous. Obviously, it is good to know that there is a good husband for their daughter, but second, the problem with that, obviously, is that she will be leaving home.
Is it a good husband? At least?
Yes, it is. He's a good man. He doesn't care that she can't speak. He believes that there are many other ways of communicating, and he comes from a good family. They're not the wealthiest, but they do have some influence. I can personally vouch for this man. Not that that necessarily means a lot to you, since you don't know me, but he is a good man. But it is a very long journey.
I sense we're going somewhere with this.
Not necessarily, but as I said, I should attend to Lord Bao and to his family. I'm sure that you would wish to talk to your countrymen, I suppose, seeing as you have been involved in fighting.
There's I'm gonna have to syndrome. I know. Can I just speak normally and we'll pretend that he's speaking in broken?
Yeah,
Riddle for a bit?
absolutely.
There is one other matter. I don't know if Li Tang had time to mention it.
Yes.
We had captured a bandit survivor. Had to amputate his arm. Told us of 2 camps the bandits used. One we attacked and sacked essentially of any goods we couldn't carry. There was a second further in the mountains where they kept their hostages.
I see.
Might be
must
worth
be
us
that must be attended to. Obviously, I agree. I will arrange something. Please. I will send word as soon as I have more information. Just one moment here. That was Lord Bow you spoke to, right?
Yes.
Yes, I thought so. He says, could you please send your captain to my residence? I would have word with him, and of course I owe him payment for all he's done, and for what you have done, for that matter.
Yes, of course, we shall.
Yes.
Go and see to the happy news for your daughter.
Yes, indeed. And well, that is an important day, he says, and looks a little, well, sad, obviously, for much the same reason as Ren mentioned, that this obviously means that Leeling will be leaving home.
Mm-hmm.
But he nods to Sindri and then heads back home. And what do you guys do then?
Turn to the ship, I imagine. Well, what Sindri would like to do. But
Sindri really knows how to choose his crushes, huh?
Yes, he does. Poor man. Poor man.
And
Yes.
we're talking about the other battle maidens we had with us.
Yeah,
in the
they
carts.
came with us.
They did.
Just didn't hear from them because they were. I mean, let's face it. Between us and Chunku hamming it up between each other in ham-to-ham combat, they didn't really manage to get a word in edgeways.
Ham-to-ham combat. That's a new one. I like that.
But yes, if he's going to take care of it, or at least prepare for it, we should go speak to Orba while we can.
Yes.
He might be employed later.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, so-
yes.
Back to the ship.
Back to the ship, indeed. And, yes, you get back down to the, to where the ship is beached, and you see a very happy crew who have broken open a couple of casks of the local ale. And they are singing very bawdy songs, and more than a few of them have already gotten drunk. Because, we had a fight and we won. There are some wounds on some of them, but nothing, desperately serious or anything of the sort. They've all been bandaged. They're all fine. None of them have been killed.
Basically, what they did were bandits made Vikings.
Yes, pretty much. Ill-equipped, half-trained rabble meets highly efficient elite barbarian unit.
Basically, we are bandits upgraded.
Yes, you are.
Oh
And
God, that just makes me feel like we're the next step up in a unit in civilization.
Yeah, they're Pokemon.
We are!
Yes, with Pokemon. Okay, so there's just general merriment.
General merriment, indeed.
Sindri will call out to them. Hope you saved some for us, scoundrels.
Hey, they're back! Of course we have. Come and sit down.
But think we shall join them.
Yes. 77 bottles of beer on the wall. 77 bottles of beer.
Please tell me it's Vibranda seeing that.
Of course.
Of course. And
Of course it
everyone
is.
is just avoiding.
Yes.
Poor man, poor crew.
Yes.
Stopping briefly only to get his hands on a bowl or whatever it will be, whatever thing
Yeah.
we've got to hold liquid in of the local brew.
Yes.
Sindri will make his way to the captain.
Yes. There are some drinking cups, obviously, but yes, the captain is definitely there. He's got a couple of scratches of his own, but again, nothing horrible or bad or anything. And he looks at you and says, "So, Sindri, you missed all the fun, or did you? Did you have fun?"
Sort of.
Sort of. What's that supposed to mean?
We carried out the plan. We attacked bandits. We frightened bandits. We killed bandits. It was much fun.
Good.
Then we learned that an attack was happening on the village, which we were mortified at, of course.
Of course.
We decided between us to make our way to one of the bandit camps to try and sack it. We did this successfully too. And then a giant fucking smoke monster decided to have some fun with us at our expense. That wasn't very fun.
Okay.
And then someone else that we didn't see just started shooting arrows at it that actually stuck in its smoky body and made it vulnerable to us. That was very fun.
Right.
And then we trekked back here and sort of gave a report to Lord Bow and to this strange... I'm trying to think, what would be the right word? Because Sindri obviously doesn't know what a peacock is, so...
No, but...
basically, he's referring to Ren in the fashion of, he's a highly dressed, somewhat effeminate-looking man.
Well, he could always refer to it as one of the colorful birds we found.
That's true.
Yes, basically. And then we're here, having fun with you. So it's been mostly fun all round.
All right. Well, good. Right. So... Well, he says, we're almost done repairing the ship. Place here is safe. Guess we might as well move on soon. Not that I particularly want to. It's a really nice place.
Well then, might have some good news for you. Well, sort of, maybe.
Oh.
Lord Bow would like to speak with you in his house at the earliest possible convenience.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be now, he says, and gets up and empties the cup he's holding.
Mm-hmm.
No sense in keeping the good man waiting. He's a good friend, and he pays well.
That will probably come into it. Are you sure it's going to be wise to see to him while you're this jolly?
Oh,
he says,
on.
try to be diplomatic.
He said, come on, I'm pretty sure Lord Bow has been drunk in his day and age as well, and we just won a big victory. We're allowed to be drunk. Don't worry, I'll be on my best behavior.
Sindri looks at Orma, and then he looks at... Who is his second-in-command's name? Keep forgetting.
Rani,
with a raised eyebrow as if to say, can he look after himself?
Rani looks at you, then he looks at the almost identically named Grani, and then he looks to Ormer, and then he looks back to you, and he says, I think you should go with him.
Of course.
And Ormer just looks at his first mate, he's like, hey, I'm not drunk. I can still lie down without a stick.
No, you misunderstand, Orma. It's in case more bandits attack. You need to have as many people to help you as possible.
Oh, okay. That's all right then. He says, well, in that case, let us go and talk to the very, very nice Lord Bow. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I was very worried he was going to say the Lord Blur and throw up over the side of the ship or something.
And
okay.
he gets ashore, and as soon as he comes, he's been sitting on the ship. As soon as he gets ashore, it's like, ooh, does the ground normally move? It's not moving.
No, it's a Sindri size. Having played babysitting duty. That being said, might it be an idea to let and I'm just going to put that out there. Is it maybe worth letting? Because I know that Ilva and Gylfi have some issues. Maybe they want to roleplay something.
Yes,
for a bit?
I think so. While you guys go up to the you guys go up to the mansion. Then let's go over to Ilva and to Gylfi, if those two are actually talking.
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, someone.
You're not turned on your microphone.
Yes, that's because I mute when I leave. I think, if you don't mind, on the way back, Frode will probably have put a hand on Gylfi's shoulder,
Yes.
in a brotherly fashion,
Yes.
and have said, "Trust me, you should probably speak to her. She can stay like that forever."
He looks at. He looks at the feet. I know her almost as long as you do.
Then why aren't you speaking to her?
Actually, Gylfi's known her longer than Frode has.
I don't know. It's just. I don't think we currently see eye to eye on certain things.
On what? What exactly are you two fighting about?
I think my wild guess, she might have got upset with me keeping ship couple of times and not. I wasn't, mind you, I wasn't. The ship wasn't in need of me. Just
Ah, I get it. You want me to talk to her?
no.
Oh, of course, he winks.
He doesn't wink back. No.
Well, Frode has decided that you want him to talk with Ilva.
He's like raises his eyebrows. He's like, you know what? If you want to, sure, go ahead. I can't stop you.
Well, I might make it worse, but who knows?
Probably will.
Probably.
The day after, he will hear a thundering sound, Gylfi! And he will see his death in the eyes as Ilva walks up to him.
That would be an improvement to actually be Gilfa talking to him.
Yes.
I just said Gilfa. It's like
Yeah, blah blah.
Oh,
yeah.
They have just suddenly become one and the same flesh. Ah.
ew!
No, I
You're not allowed to. Get away. You're my little brother. Fuck off.
I'd say it's more the shipping handle than anything else. And
No.
no, okay.
Well, in that case, Frode would want to find Ilva at this point.
Yes.
If they're at the ship, she'll probably be somewhere scouting toward the forest.
Yes.
Well, then he'll walk up and sit down there beside her. I don't know if she's sitting, but he's sitting.
Probably standing on a large rock on the beach.
Hey there.
Oh, hi, Frode.
What's going on with you and the twerp?
Twerp.
The what?
Gylfi.
Oh, nothing.
I've lived with you in the same house for quite a while. I can tell when something's up.
Nothing's up.
I think. Well, he says, and I assume numbs some sort of meat. If you're not gonna talk, I'll just talk to you.
Sure. Can you see the fox from here?
The fucks? You mean the spirit thing?
Yeah, I wonder if it's glowing in the dark. Or if it doesn't.
He's strange to look out into the forest for glowing foxes.
There are no glowing foxes.
I don't see anything. In any case, Ilva, I talked to Gylfi, and it seems like you guys had a disagreement about him sneaking away from the ship and spending most of his time in town. And when she then doesn't answer, he'll shrug.
Well, he did
Well-
say he would talk at her.
That doesn't mean she won't necessarily reply. Well, you see, Ilva, I can understand why that would be annoying. I mean, the boy is shirking his duties. At least, his duties as a crewman. But, well, Gylfie's always been a little behind. You know that. I think what he's going through is... Well, I think he's discovered his penis. And I think he's discovered that he quite likes using it.
Ilva did not expect to hear that. So she's just staring at at Frodi, with a little disbelieving look in her eyes.
What?
the even, man?
What? What do you think he's doing in town? All the ladies all goo-goo over him. Of course he's using that to his advantage. And remember, he is younger than us, so... It makes sense that he would be doing this discovery now. I think it's a good thing. He's always been... well, a twerp. Maybe being a little more of a man will make him into more of a man.
I never thought I would see the day where you were like, oh, it's okay. Where the hell did your let's beat sense into him go?
Well, that's the backup plan. Right now I saw an opportunity, and hopefully getting his dick wet will make him a bit less of a wuss.
Oh, how you put it.
So you think by poking a thing inside of women will make him a man?
Well, in some sense, yes.
But that's not the only thing you fucking need to do it. You kinda need more than doing just that to be an actual man.
Of course, I'm just hoping this will start the process. Let me
You know
tell
what?
you,
When you put it like that, I'm so happy I chose to become a battle maiden. I wouldn't have to help anyone become a man. Then she jumps off the rocks and leaves.
trust me, it's a powerful drive when you're that age.
Oh dear.
Well, he did say he might make it worse.
Yeah.
But yes, he's taken entirely the wrong approach to.
It's kind of fun though.
We do not need macho man talk.
Ooh,
well.
yeah.
If Gelfie turns into Johnny Bravo, I will drown him.
He'll turn into Randy Savage. Just
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
god.
be like, ream of a crop.
No.
Oh dear God. So, where does Ilva actually go?
Walks into town. Screw these men, they're everywhere.
They are in town as well.
Yeah, but they're not Southlanders.
Maybe.
Where are you going? In town.
I think she will walk around.
Yeah.
And realize, nah, this place is also filled with people. And then see if there is a bar she hasn't seen her in here for before.
No, you've seen all of them by now.
Aww. Then she'll just walk around. Probably find a quiet path to walk along.
All right. Well, you can certainly do that. Eventually, you end up up on the bridge.
Yeah, it seems like a good quiet place to be.
Exactly. It's right now. It's a nice, quiet place. Nobody else is up there. Nobody's bothering you, and you have a nice view. What does Gylfie do in the meantime?
After his talk with Frody, he's he just grabbed something like literally to drink, like one mug to drink, just down part of it, and like looked around looked around for the people that are partying and celebrating,
Yes.
and he gone off the boat.
Yes. So you're basically heading back up into town as well?
Yeah, he's going to town to just walk around at first, and then maybe like take around the route towards the goose. Was it called something goose?
The fat goose?
Fat goose.
Yes. Where
Which is
going up there to have a good meal or something.
yeah, to just unwind.
Yes.
No chance at all that these two people are going to bump into each other walking into town.
No,
That'd be
they
awkward.
do in fact avoid each other.
Mm.
They're going quite different places, so it's not a problem. That
Yeah, of
said,
course.
however, as for you, you and a rather drunk captain are making your way up to the mansion.
I mean, this might actually be a good. It's again a bit late for it, but I'm gonna. Is this something my common sense might be able to tell me something about doing?
Do
Is
what?
it worth? I mean, I've got common sense, but is it common sense to take a drunken Orma to see Lord Bow right now?
Not really, but Ormer insists.
Yes, he does, and
Isn't it lovely being the babysitter?
yes,
You could take him to the goose and make him even drunk so he falls asleep.
yeah. I mean, strategizing.
Then he can go see Lord Bao with a terrible hangover.
Yes, but then at least talking to Lord Bow will give him something else to focus on.
So, what is it?
So we get up to the main gates.
Yes, you do.
How much is Sindri having to basically hold Orma steady as he walks?
No, he can walk. He can walk. Your guys are just, nobody stops you. You can walk right in. So,
Oh dear God! These people, they don't have common sense. They don't realise what's about to happen.
and
He's going to insult the Lord, and we're going to get kicked out in disgrace. Okay. Okay. Sindri does at least take the time to explain that Lord Bow is currently having a very important discussion with with aforementioned strutting colorbird of a man
right, yes.
about a matter concerning his lovely daughter.
Ooh, they're gonna get married. La 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 la.
Sindri starts wondering if they've got some water or something to splash in the man's face. But
Do you know
Dunk him in the
something-
river.
Do you know something, Zindri? He says,
What?
and walks up next to you, or stands next to you, and sort of begins to lean a little.
Mhm.
You are my bestest friend.
I'm touched. Did you say that? It's,
Absolutely.
I mean,
I
think-
don't know where we would be without you. Probably somewhere completely different, because you have the best eyes on the ship.
Yes, I can go along with that.
And because you have good eyes, that is why we are in this lovely, lovely, lovely place.
I hadn't thought of it like that. At this point, Sindri is cursing the fact that he also has a very good sense of smell, because, of course, I imagine.
He does smell of alcohol, yes. So, anyway, let us
Okay.
let us go in and talk to Lord Bao, and because we've got a lot of celebrating to do. That was a really good fight.
Yes. Oh, yes. That reminds me. Lord Bow did also say before you are to go and see him, he did insist that you. He did insist that you wash your face. It was very important this occasion that you take an opportunity to go and wash your face. So let's see if we can find you a basin or something.
Right. There, he walks over to the nearest water barrel and washes his face.
Sindri helps quite vigorously,
Yes.
splashing water in his face. And
Oh.
perhaps he's even tempted to just grab the man and dunk his head in, sort of
Yes.
thing.
I feel a little. I'm gonna have a headache tomorrow.
Yes, but best not to dwell on that right now. But the point is, you are now. I won't say presentable. You're more presentable.
Okay. So-
for Bow's pleasure.
Let's go in and talk to the man.
Yes.
Yes.
It might be best if I speak on your behalf at certain times.
Oh, no. I can speak. Don't worry. It's all good. It's all
Your
good.
ability, your capacity, your ability to speak is not in question, my captain. Of course, it's things you'll say. But Sindri relents because he's not going to win this. Orma, again, the point is that, of course, among the flaws that Sindri has, he does have a sense of undying loyalty to the man. So he cannot bring himself to say no. You're drunk. Go home. So, whether he likes it or not, he's going to help this man blunder his way through this.
Brilliant. Okay, you get in. Sorry.
Remember to look suitably embarrassed.
Yes, bowing and scraping on behalf of his.
Of course. You get indoors, and you are, the first person you see once you get indoors is Lady Phaon, who is present in the the room where you enter. So, and of course, Ormer bows and manages to not fall over. And
Yep, Sindri does the same.
yes, and Lady Phaon smiles, nods to both of you, and says, "Please proceed upstairs. My husband is waiting for you."
Sindri nods and smiles, a little strained, but
Are you all right? You look upset at something.
upset? No. Not upset. Captain, keen to celebrate.
Oh, right. I shall make sure that more wine is sent to the ship. She says.
The colour drains from Sindri's face. Yeah, very grateful. Thank you. As long-
Ormer just smiles happily.
Captain has enjoyed much wine already, he says, and
He nods vigorously. Clearly he's enjoyed it. Lady Phaon just smiles very knowingly at you and says, "My husband has seen drunk men before. Don't worry."
and Sindri remembers how to breathe.
All right, so you head upstairs.
Yes, he does say a very heartfelt thank you to the woman before they go up, but yes.
You head upstairs and you find Lord Bao in his workroom, in his office. Ren is there as well. They are looking at an extensive amount of papers, or parchments more like it, scrolls opened and rolled open on the low table.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they both stop what they're doing when you enter. Ren stands up. Lord Bao admittedly doesn't, but he's in the middle of reading something just as you enter. And but Ren does get up, and a moment later Lord Bao joins him and nods to you both and says, "Thank you for coming so swiftly," he says. And Ormer just smiles politely back and says, "Of course, we wouldn't keep you waiting, my lord." Not a hint of drunkenness.
Yes, Sindri. What would I have to roll for self-control in this case? Is there anything I can do?
Will
test.
Yes, will.
Yes, he manages to keep his composure. He doesn't do a double take at the man
No.
for having him on.
Yes.
He just bows at Lord Bow as well and keeps
Yes.
keeps his grim visage.
Yes. And Lord Bow scratches his cheek slightly and looks back to the papers on the desk and then on the table, and then he looks to the map he's got as well, the map of his lands that he showed some of you last time, and he's got he's looking at that, and there's a little marker on it now that wasn't there before, and he says, "We have a decision to make," he says. "But it can be more or less complicated depending on you, my friends, and please, before I go any further, understand that I expect nothing from you. Whatever you answer, I will not be offended. I will still pay everything I owe you. In fact, it is being prepared as we speak. And yes," he says, I'm not making any kind of demands. I can't, for to begin with, nor would I. You are friends, not servants. But, he says, we do have a problem, obviously. We cannot leave Lanwan undefended again. That goes without saying. We've just been attacked. The population here is frightened with what has happened. People are justifiably afraid. I think anybody would be. Several of their friends and neighbors and family members have died in this attack, and consequently I can't very well take my soldiers and leave Lanwan to go looking for this camp, several days worth of travel in both directions. I cannot do that. On the other hand, there are apparently hostages there who are innocent people who do not deserve to be left possibly to starve to death for all we know, because the bandits that kept them prisoner aren't coming back to let them out of whatever cages they're kept in, if they're kept in cages. We don't know, obviously, but that would make some kind of twisted sense, I suppose. So, there you have it. I would ask for your help with two things. Firstly, he says, I would ask for help with the camp from you. I would obviously send people with you, just a few who know the way and who would not be, you would be safe with them and wouldn't have to stumble through the mountains where you don't know the lay of the land. That's one thing I would like to ask. The other thing is a bit more complicated. My friend here, Ren, has brought me, as you probably heard, good news. Difficult news, obviously, for any father, but good news. That Liling has been betrothed to a young nobleman, and she will need an escort going to her new home. Once again, I cannot spare the men to send with her at this time. I will have to spare the men to send with her, but that would leave the population of Lanwan uncertain and afraid, and I would rather avoid doing that if I can. So I would ask if some of you would be willing to take her where she needs to go. Ren will accompany you as well. He knows the way, obviously. And I leave it up to you whether you want to or not. But it is a long journey. It is it will take a long time to get there and to get back. And I realize that for a crew as tightly knit as you are, that may not be an option. But I would ask anyway. Ren nods and says, should you be willing to accompany me and Li Ling on this journey, he says, I can assure you that you will see things and experience things that you would never see or experience anywhere else. The Empire is vast, and there are amazing things to see, and fantastic creatures, and beautiful places, and people, and adventures enough to be had for many lifetimes. And Ormer thinks about this for a moment, and then he says, well, would it be alright if I gave my answer to this in the morning? And Lord Bao says, obviously, of course, that would be perfectly fine. I will need to know sometime tomorrow, if at least about the trek to the camp, because the longer we leave the hostages there, the more danger they're obviously going to be in. And Ormer nods and says, "That's, I understand." He says, "You will have your answer tomorrow morning. Don't worry." And then he looks at Sindri and says, "We should go back to the ship."
Of course, yes.
And as you get downstairs and outside and, out of the compound, he looks very thoughtful for a while as you walk back towards the ship.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? He finally says, What do you think, Sindri?"
Well, the first matter is simple enough. It's not too far out of our way. It was what we planned to do originally. I think that would be something we could handle. But the other matter, it would have to be a small group. I don't think it would be wise to...
We can't send the whole crew.
Of course not.
Not if for no other reason than we're going to be threatening enough as it is if just a few of us go. People here don't know of us. If a whole crew of, well, more than 70 people come along.
And it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be practical or necessarily fair to have so many of the crew away from this ship for however many 10 days it will be.
I'm certain they would find it fascinating. It would be an adventure. There will be people who are not going. If I decide to send anyone, there will be people who are not going who will be grumpy that they weren't chosen. It can't be helped. But that is
Well,
as it is.
Well, that's no problem for me. I'm always grumpy, so...
Well, in that case, you're going.
Of course. Again, well, I've as I say, I personally, it is a risk, but it would. When we started this adventure, even if it did begin in tragedy, it was so that we could see and feel and hear and taste and touch new and exciting things that none of us would dream. So
Exactly.
in that sense, I think the answer is pretty obvious. What we do.
I agree. He sits down on there's a rock that he can sit down on next to the path. What about Gylfi? He says. He doesn't like this. That much is obvious.
Doesn't like what? The journey, the fighting, or?
I think he likes the journey well enough. I'm not sure. It seems to me that he's fine seeing new things. He's curious and inquisitive. We all know that. But we are warriors. It is a dangerous world. You can't get by simply by being nice, no matter what he thinks. It's just not the world we live in. The skill we have to sell to others out here in the great wide world is our ability to kill people. And there are plenty of people who, quite frankly, need to be killed. Bandits today are a good example. They've made life miserable for these good people for way too long.
Indeed.
But I am wondering what to do about him, because if the more morose he becomes and the more detached and distant he becomes, the harder it's going to be for him to feel like a part of the crew, and we're going to spend possibly years at sea still between different locations. I certainly hope it will be. I have many places I want to see. And if he's going to be completely isolated on board ship, because he isolates himself, that is obviously a problem.
Yeah, well, it is not an easy thing to answer. I mean...
No, obviously not, and I don't expect you to have an answer right here and now, Sindri, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that it is something I have noticed, it's something that others have noticed, and I don't want this to become a problem. I don't want this to be something where we are sitting 10 days from any land anywhere in the middle of the ocean when he suddenly loses it because he hasn't functioned as part of the crew for I don't know how long. I don't want that to happen. Not for our sake, but certainly not for his. So are we in a situation where we need to make him, to let him stay if that's what he wants? Do we do that? I can't force him to come along. I don't want to force him. If he doesn't feel that it is right for him to do that, then he's not cut out to be a warrior. We all know that. He hates the process.
Indeed.
Well, I think it is something you and yours can talk about on the road.
Yes, he has been and will continue to be our responsibility. I am aware that he has hurt Ulva's feelings, and considering how close they have been, it's got to show how serious this has become. But I have known him at least as long as her, and although my relationship with him has not always been particularly fond either, I think perhaps I'm the best chance to actually try and speak to him about this and get him to understand what choosing this path means for all of us.
Solve it somehow.
Yes, I will.
Find out whether he wants to stay or go, and work from there.
Yes.
As long as you know that if it is what he wants to do, if it is because he wants to stay, then he does have my permission. It's not that he really needs it, but I don't want him to come along out of some misguided feeling that he has to. I want him to come along because he wants to,
Of course.
right?
I appreciate that. Yes, I will. I will be frank with him.
Be frank, but
I'll be politely frank.
yes, I was about to say, don't, he doesn't react well to being given the harsh treatment, and that just means you're not going to get through to him.
No, of course. Don't worry. I will do. I will make sure to
Sure,
handle this.
no problem.
we-
I'll
Before we head back,
yes,
one more matter.
of course.
How much fun did you just have at my expense in there?
Way too much.
Did you mean what you said in your false drunken state?
You are a good friend. All of you are. All of you are good friends.
That's something. That
isn't a man or woman on this crew for whom I wouldn't lay down my life, and I should hope the opposite is true as well.
Absolutely. If it came to it that it was something as paltry as my life could save that of the crew, or even just you as my captain, I would give it up.
We have to be able to trust each other like that. Again, we are not that many. We've
No.
already lost a couple of our friends since we set out. Undoubtedly, we're going to lose more. I hope we don't, but realistically, that is what's going to happen.
Of course.
And eventually, one day, we are probably going to go back to the Southlands. We're probably going to get new crew members when that happens. Some will go ashore, others will join us. But this is the first crew we did this with. That I did this with. That's always going to be something special. It's always going to be when you look back on, I guess, most fondly, isn't it?
Of course. Ours has been quite the first voyage.
Yes, indeed. And we are not yet that far into it even.
No.
Well, let's go back to the others. He says and gets up and starts heading back down, and we can take our second break here.
Yes.
Alright, so we shall be back with more of the Long Voyage in just a few moments.